Okay guys, welcome back. This is the Cincinnati Shaper Part 2, Restore and Rebuild. I have to pull this plug out right here, but it has an inverted hex. I have to pull this out in order to access the back side of the flywheel so I can pull the flywheel and the clutch assembly off. So I went ahead and really just roughed out a hex fitting to go in here, and I'll weld a nipple to this and hopefully be able to get a pipe wrench on here and be able to pull this plug out. I really have no act. This is like a 2-inch diameter, and a normal bolt from the hardware store is not going to fit. And I didn't have anything. I think the closest I had around here was about 1.5 inches on the hex bolt, so that's why I had to rough this out. But anyway, I'm going to weld a nipple to this. Hopefully, be able to grip it with a pipe wrench and be able to back this nipple out, and we'll see if we can gain access that way. Okay, I welded up a 1/2 inch black iron nipple to this little hex fitting I cut out. So hopefully I'll be able to get a pipe wrench on there and knock it off. I don't know if the thing's ever been off in its lifetime, but it is a 98-year-old machine, so we'll see how hard it is. Actually, it was easier than I thought. There we go. Heck yeah. I like it when that happens. And we'll be able to see what's back behind this thing here. And that is the piece that we need to get to in order to take the flywheel out. So all that'll be coming up here soon. Okay, it looks like what we have behind that access panel is a cotter pin with a little crown or king nut, whatever you want to call it. I call it a crown nut because it looks like or a castle nut. Pull that out and hopefully be able to pull the flywheel out. But stay tuned here and we'll see what we can do with this thing. There we go. All right, we'll break that nut loose next. Okay, that appears to be a 15/16 socket, but it actually wasn't even tight. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that off by hand. Wasn't too painful. So far, so good. Okay, a little update on getting this flywheel and clutch removed. This right here had a little pin and a little cotter pin and a little taper pin in there, so that had to be removed. And once that was removed, all this stuff will slide. The shaft will actually slide right out. So this rear gearbox cover had to come off, just to save anybody else some trouble in the future if they're trying to pull this apart. So you can see now the clutch is actually coming out of the flywheel. So anyway, hopefully this will, oh yeah, there was another screw in here, an Allen head screw that held this thing in place. So that had to be pulled all the way out. You had your crown nut on this end with the cotter pin, and on this end you had a little drop-in pin, and it actually had a little cotter pin that goes through. I don't know, let's see if I can get this to spin. You can see the little hole right here where the cotter pin drops through and holds this stationary in place, because what this does is it rolls the little gear down here for the oil pump. So anyway, once that has been removed, this is removed, and at the very end of the shaft on the first part of the video, I had the crown nut and the cotter pin also, and then that whole shaft will slide out, and allow you to remove the clutch. Once the clutch is removed, I think you can get to the bolts underneath it to get the whole flywheel off. So hopefully that'll save someone else some headaches. Also, vintagemachinery.org has a lot of the prints on this machine or any other Cincinnati shaper machine as well. So I highly recommend, if you're getting into the teardown part, to go there. He's got PDFs available, and you can download them for free. Of course, you can donate to his website as well, because he goes through all the trouble of uploading, and really it saved me a lot, especially on my Sheldon lathe. I used him a lot for that one. I had an Amco metal shaper, and I also had a old LeBlanc lathe that I used to have, and all those documents were available on his website. Little sneak peek at the clapper box after I cleaned it up. So that red paint there is going to be what the whole machine is going to look like when I'm finished. That's International Harvester Red. Mainly went with that color because it shouldn't be any problem matching it up in the future. Every tractor store, major tractor store, stocks that paint, so any touch-ups in the future should be pretty easily handled by just going to the store and picking it up. But that's going to be it for part 2 of the Cincinnati shaper restoration, and hopefully I'll have the flywheel and clutch completely out on the next video.